Hi, my name is William Schaeffer, and this is a food for thought talk: how to find the fastest toll booth line, the cleanest bathroom stall, and the fastest fast food line. And these problems are all very similar and occurred to me a long time ago when I was driving on the tollway in Chicago. Basically, the problem can be reduced to: you have a long line of doors, and you have a corridor that leads up to all those doors. And your choice is to choose the door that is used the least often. That's the fastest, shortest line, or the cleanest bathroom stall. Now, the interesting thing is, over time, with a large number of samples, humans behave pretty much like billiard balls, because it's just a choice, a single choice of where to go. And this is what I discovered. People tend to form a Gaussian distribution, or a bell curve. And most abilities are distributed in this bell curve. Well, when you're faced with a lot of doors to choose from, most people go to the doors that are in the center. And the fewest number of people go to the doors that are farthest away. That kind of makes sense. It's a longer distance to travel. So the distribution of people choosing which door in a row of doors is very similar to a Gaussian distribution, or a bell curve. Therefore, the very end doors have the least traffic. This means those are probably the cleanest stalls or the shortest lines. Now, there's another principle that overlays this, and it's based on the Bernoulli principle, and that is that water in a straw tends to cling to the side of the straw and pull up a little bit. And people similarly tend to cling to the walls or the edge. And so the very end of the line gets an additional amount of traffic due to this Bernoulli effect that is overlaid on the Gaussian distribution. What this means is the second door in is the least traveled. Although in a Gaussian distribution, the farthest extreme is the lowest number of traffic, the Bernoulli effect added to it, a lot of people will just stick to the edge of the road and go to the last toll booth on whichever edge it is. A lot of people will just stick to the wall and go to the last stall because it's right next to the wall. A lot of people in a fast food restaurant will just go to the end. Now, fast food is a different situation, and I'll talk about that later. Therefore, it's the second stall in that's the least traveled and is the cleanest. It's the second toll booth in that has the shortest line and the least traffic. And you can prepare for that ahead of time. And you can make important decisions when you're driving to get to that toll booth before you know it, to ensure that you'll be there, and it will almost always be the shortest line. Now, in fast food, they'll have 4 cash registers, so 4 lines, for example. At a food counter at a large movie theater concession or at a large fast food restaurant, there'll be a number of cash registers in a row. In a busy time, they frequently, now the lines are all the same length because space is restricted, so you don't have the luxury of having a really long line like you would end up with in a toll booth situation. They're all the same line, but frequently they'll have a floater behind the counter who will assist with heavy loads. And this floater tends to concentrate in a Gaussian distribution, a bell curve, in the center of the cash registers. So therefore, counterintuitively, in a crowded fast food restaurant, the center lines tend to move faster because people are all forced, the lines are replenished at the same speed to the same distance, like 4 or 6 or 8 people deep, but they tend to get serviced faster in the center because the workers themselves tend to pay more attention to the center of the line. So that's a little idea how a bell curve Gaussian distribution and the Bernoulli principle can be used to calculate in advance which bathroom stall is the cleanest, which of a row of doors is the least used, which locker might be the least used, the second from the end, which fast food line will move the fastest, probably the center ones because they're serviced more. And you can look at examples of this in your own life where this repeated door selection scenario is prevalent. All right, that's it. How to pick the cleanest bathroom stall, how to pick the shortest toll booth line. A combination of Gaussian distribution and the Bernoulli principle. Thank you, and leave your comments below.